Okay, let's do this. Some of you, you may have noticed that I kind of have a thing about Donald Trump, and it might, if you watch my rants or if you read my posts or you look at my memes, it might occur to you, but there's something personal. This is personal for this guy. What's the story? So, I guess when we can know, here's the story. My dad was kind of an aggressive guy. He was emotionally and physically abusive. Turns out he was physically and emotionally abused by his mother. We used to call her Crazy Nana, so that gives you a clue. This I'm a firstborn son, Italian American family. Kind of important that you love your dad and respect him. So that from a young age, I was on a mission to get intel, find out what the story was with this guy, so that I could, love and understand and accept him. And that turned out to be easy because my paternal grandfather and namesake, Andrew Scatino, master tailor at the time, much of his life, was a very open and candid guy, really loved his Johnny, and wanted to, actually turned out he was on a mission to train me to help his son and continue to heal his son after my grandfather was gone. So, and my mom, of course, my dad was the mother lode for her, that block on Juniper Street in South Philly. Of the options she had, John Charles Scatino, Drexel Institute graduate, mechanical engineer, that was a decorated World War II vet. That was the guy, if you want the big payday, that's the guy you want to marry. Got to marry somebody. You're a woman. So, it's 1949. So the paisans, the two fathers, my grandfather and my mom's grandfather, they conspired. It's a long, fun story. You'll have to, make a contribution on my GoFundMe page to help me finish and self-publish my goddamn book, and then you can read all about it. But I digress. Okay. So I got the deal on my dad. And a neat thing I found out was that bullies are actually very insecure and feel profoundly vulnerable. Now, that's a really valuable thing to know. So, in middle school, when the phenomena of playground bully was just really kind of taken off, I created a role for myself, bully buster. The first bully I pulled off of a kid and beat the shit out of, I was pleasantly surprised that a crowd surrounded me and they were cheering as I beat the merciless shit out of this motherfucking cocksucker. And then the teachers, of course, had to solemnly take me to the principal's office, chuckling the whole way. Me and the bully, who was still crying. And then they, dragged us into the principal's office, briefly said what had happened, and then left. The principal said, close the door. So he solemnly told us both, fighting in school is forbidden and you're both in a lot of trouble. We're going to call your parents. And then he dismissed the bully and said to the bully, close the door on your way out, bully piece of shit. As soon as that door closed, the principal was like, way to go. What's your name? Andrew Scatino? Mrs. So-and-so told me all about it. Man, you really beat the shit out of that bully, didn't you? And so I discovered a cool thing about being a bully buster. One cool thing is that if you beat people up, randomly, you don't get any applause for that. Bad. If you beat the shit out of a bully, especially in the act of bullying a kid half his size, not only do you not get in trouble, people fucking love you. So that was good. That was a good lesson. The other lesson is it's very satisfying to beat the shit out of bullies. Very satisfying. It's a social good. I later learned I'm delivering cosmic karma when I do that. And so I don't want to say it became addictive, but it was a major highlight of my day. I've continued that. I continued that through high school, continued that through college. You might be surprised to learn that even in the workplace, information technology, there were bullies there, mostly incompetent managers, but also coworkers. And boy, it was fun blowing them up. Out in the street, I see bullies all the time. That's a lot of fun too, smashing them. So here's the deal with Herr Drumpf and why I'm on his case. When he declared for president, the first words out of his mouth were attacking illegal Hispanic immigrants. And of course, as an immigrant, we were legal immigrants. They allowed Italians into the country in the late 1800s and early 1900s because they had work that white people didn't want to do, white Anglo-Saxon Protestants. I've got another rant on that. You'll have to find it. They didn't like us. They didn't want us here, but they needed us to do work that they weren't willing to do. Before us, they had to let the Irish in. Before that, they had to, let in the Negroes. Of course, the Negroes were chained to the bottom of the slaver ship, so that my grandparents got to at least be in very cramped quarters in the lower decks. Of course, if the ship started to sink, they'd chain them into the down in the lower deck so they couldn't compete with the slow, stupid, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant rich people on the upper decks. To give the white, rich, slow, stupid people a chance to get into the boats, because they had to figure out which boat was going to serve the meal they wanted and which boat had the best accommodations. All those important things, like in Titanic, if you saw it. Okay, but I digress. So I immediately saw that Trump was a bully as soon as he announced, and a fucking piece of shit. I didn't learn probably for weeks. I didn't realize that he was profoundly mentally disturbed. All you have to do is listen to him at a rally to the Sieg Heil cheers of his lunatic 35% minority base to know that he's a sick fucking piece of shit. And so I decided that if this fucking idiot somehow got elected, of course he, Hillary, me, and every other intelligent person on the planet thought there was no fucking chance of that happening. Oops, our bad. You just need Bernie to lose the primary and Bernie supporters to not vote for Hillary, and a white lash. You get a bunch of flatheads from the flyover states who have never voted in their life, and they come out in droves, white racists that they are, and they don't really elect Trump. He still lost the popular vote by almost 3 million votes, but with the bullshit electoral college that overrepresents low population redneck states. He was able to win the Electoral College. You don't have to believe me, kiddies. Just fucking Google it, okay? It'll explain the whole thing to you. It's a math thing. I don't want to take the time here. Okay, so do I oppose Trump? Yeah, I oppose him. Do I have a visceral hatred for Trump? Yes, I have a visceral hatred. Do I want to see him stomped into the ground, bloodied, impeached, convicted, removed from office in disgrace, tried for treason, convicted, and put to death by firing squad? Yes, I do. When all that comes to pass, will I gleefully watch? Yes, I will. But Andy, you're a Buddhist. Isn't that bad karma? Guess what? Whatever bad karma accrues, I'll take it gladly. This sick fuck is going down. And I'm going to do my small part. Nothing I can do will more ensure his demise than everything he does every day. If you're a Trump supporter, shame on you, you stupid fucking idiot. But eventually, when you realize he's not going to do a shitting thing for you, except maybe, insult the darkies and try to deport your gardener or your nanny or your roofer, or your house painter. Strawberries. You like strawberries? Guess how much they're going to cost if they got to pay white people to pick them. Tomatoes. You like tomatoes? You'll find out if this idiot succeeds. What do you spend $5 for one tomato, handpicked by a white person that needs to get $20 an hour to stand in a field for an hour? Maybe they could last in a field. You try that. Try that. Really try that sometime. Just go to one of those nurseries that in the springtime, pick all the strawberries you can eat, for $1 or a pound, whatever. Pick strawberries for 30 minutes, and tell me that those Hispanic illegals are taking good jobs from Americans. Yeah, you'll get clear on that. Okay, so it's coming up on 10 minutes, so I got to stop because the millennials. I'm already 8 minutes over. So Andrew Paul Scatino, Why Women Are So Problematic, a memoir in irreverent, whimsical polemic. Go to my GoFundMe page, donate money, and I'll be able to afford to stay in my apartment and finish the goddamn thing and self-publish it. And if you give me $50, I'll give you a free autographed copy. If you give me more, I'll come to your house and do stand-up. If you give me even $5, I'll take it. Google my name, SCHETTINO. Peace out. Don't just impeach Trump. Impeach, convict, remove from office, try for treason in a D.C. federal courthouse, convict, sentence to death, and put him to death before a firing squad. An interesting aside, imagine how many thousands of volunteers the military will have wanting to be on that firing squad of 12 sharpshooters. And I guess they'll have to have a lottery to only pick 12 men and women, probably mostly African Americans and Hispanics. And as he's being dragged in front of the firing squad blindfolded, he'll be sobbing uncontrollably and pleading for his filthy, pathetic life, and I'll be laughing my ass off. And then, ready, aim! And then he doesn't say fire for like a second. He pauses, and then he says, fire! And a volley of bullets, and that fucking idiot head explodes, and I'll be fucking cheering. And that'll be a message for the next fucking demagogue lunatic who thinks that they're going to hijack the idiot Republican Party in the primaries and become president. Because we're not going to let this happen again. This was a one-off, okay? We dropped the ball. We were sleeping. I didn't. I voted for Hillary. All my friends voted for Hillary. But those Bernie idiot progressives that didn't vote for Hillary because Bernie lost. They cheated him. I bet you those little fucking idiots are going to vote for the Democrat for the rest of their fucking lives. They better. They better. So let's do this. Let's do this, people. We have a constitution. We don't need to fix this with a baseball bat. You know, we can fix this by just throwing out the Republican enablers in Congress, and then my Democratic majority will fix this problem for you. And then you don't have to watch it gleefully like I will, but you know, just kind of look. You know, you can kind of look between your fingers, but you're going to love when that head explodes. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Antifa, Black Lives Matter. Yeah, I'm going to be laughing my ass off. I'm going to be chanting Antifa, BLM, Antifa, BLM, as they fucking kill that piece of shit. Okay? Trump supporters, for a while I was advocating a Civil War do-over, and we'd carpet bomb the red states and kill all of you motherfucking cocksucking pieces of shit. I recently remembered I had a kinder, gentler solution back in 2013 after the midterms when, you know. But anyway, some time ago I wrote a very detailed, intelligent piece, Let the Red States Go. And so if you just Google my name, that link will probably come up. It's on Op-Ed News. You can find it for yourself. Interesting article. And there's your alternative, okay? Because we can't have a country with you fuckers around. So form your, you know, secede. We won't fight you. We'll let you go. You can form your Jesus land or you know, fucked up a stand, whatever you want to fucking call it. We don't need you. We don't want you. Get the fuck out of the union. Bye-bye. Or fight. Because that's a viable solution too. I'd be down with that. I'd be down with that. So either way, figure it out and wait. You can wait until we impeach Trump, and then you'll have to, you know, be a Rubicon. You have to decide what you're going to do about that. Once your savior is removed from office in disgrace and shot and killed, you're going to have to decide, you know, how you feel about that. But don't crawl back under your rocks, because we got you in the open now. We don't want to lose track of you. So either leave or take to the streets so we can kill all of you. Okay? Peace out. Bye-bye.